You can't imagine the crazy things I used to do for my team. This used to be my life. I wasn't born. I was spat out into this world. My mother consecrated me to evil spirits. When I was 12, my mum abandoned us and went off to live in a spiritualist center. This caused me to get involved with criminality, drug trafficking. When I was 15, I met the official supporters club of the Ponte Preta team. That was when I fell in love with the supporters. I began doing anything for Ponte Preta. Anything. Absolutely anything. I would hit and get hit. I would spend my entire salary. I would do everything necessary to follow Ponte Preta. Whenever I saw someone wearing a jersey from a team that was not Ponte Preta, I wanted to fight them. I wanted to go after them. I even took bricks to throw at rival fans' heads. At one point, I got a tattoo. I got this tattoo in honor of Ponte Preta. This team was my wife, my God, my everything. Some time passed and I met a girl. She thought, he probably goes to a game today and then another one 2 weeks later. But it wasn't like that. It was every day. Forgive my choice of word, but if there was a game in hell against the devil's team, I would go there to cheer for them. I spared no effort. During the time that we were together, we had a daughter. Only then did she begin to realize who was by her side. Because I would not bring any food to the house, but I would buy tickets. I wouldn't buy nappies or milk for my daughter, but I'd go to watch the matches of my team. I would not even want to have such a person beside me. That was when she looked deep into my eyes and said, "Take your things and get out." I left the house with a bag of few clothes and ended up living under a bridge. That was when I came to my senses, realizing that the God I loved, the supporters club that I was passionate about, the team that I idolized, were not going to give me anything. In fact, this was the bridge. In Jardim São Marcos. I remember it like it was today. They all knew that I was living under a bridge, but none of them reached out to me. That was when a voice spoke in my mind, telling me, "Go up on the bridge and take your life." In the moment that I was about to jump, I felt like listening to music. I thought, I'm not going to feel pain or anything else because I'll be connected to this song. When I put my earphones on and turned on the radio on my phone, I heard a voice on the other side, which clearly said, "You who are there, wanting to take your life, call me immediately because I will help you." This happened at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. I heard that and said, "This cannot be possible. This guy is talking to me."
The program was 7 minutes long. It used to be recorded. That day, I was walking past the studio and, moved by the Holy Spirit, I said, I'm going to do it live.
When I called him, I said, "Mister, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't even know what I'm doing here. All I know is that there is a voice in my head. I am on top of a bridge, and this voice is telling me to jump from it." He said, "Get down from there, and I will help you." I walked to the cathedral, 2 hours and 40 minutes on foot. When I went inside, this same man, whose name I did not know, and I didn't know who he was on the altar. He looked at me and said, "You are Clayton, aren't you?" I replied, "Yes." He said, "I spoke to you on the radio." I asked him, "So are you the one who is going to help me?" He said, "Do you want to change your life? Do you want to change your life?" I said, "I do." Then he pointed his finger and said, "Do you see that? Jesus Christ is your Lord, my friend. Do you know what is written? It is written, 'I dwell in the high and holy place, but I dwell.'" Then he pointed to my chest. "With him who has a contrite and humble spirit, God will change your life, young man." Those words sunk into me, and he began to help me. This was when he presented me to an Assistant Wagner. I will never forget him. I remember one time when I was in front of the altar. I felt unwell, and he said to me, "Clayton, pay attention. It is written, if the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed." Those words pierced me in such a way that I told him, "Never again will I manifest here. Never again will I serve the devil. Never again will I step back. Never again will I look back." I went to speak to the pastor afterwards. I asked him, "Pastor, what is the campaign of Israel that everyone is talking about?" He explained it to me in detail. I remember that I told him, "Pastor, I have nothing to give to God." He said, "You do. Of course you do. You have your life. Give him your own being. Give your all to him. Do you remember what you used to do for the fan club in the past, Clayton? Do twice as much for God. Fight for God. Conquer the Spirit of God." I still kept an idol, which was my team. But just as God had told Gideon to go and take down the idol of Baal and set up an altar for God, that was what I did. I turned my back on everything. I faced God and went on ahead. I remember that there was no envelope. I didn't have an envelope. I put everything tied in a bag, then went up and placed it on the altar. The strength that I received when I went down from the altar pushed me to live single-mindedly for the Holy Spirit. Then, I managed to move into a shelter. I was off the streets now, and things began to happen. But I said, "No, I need the Holy Spirit. I need him. I need him. I need him. I need him." I remember that it was on a Wednesday. I remember that I prepared myself. I didn't have any clothes. My clothes were ugly. I had just managed to find a job. I didn't have money to buy new clothes. But I went to this meeting. I sat at the back of the church and I said, "My God, now it's just you and I. Either you come into me and transform me, or I will return to the drugs. I'll go back to the streets, and I don't want that anymore." I told God that day, "You know how much I did for Satan. How much I served the devil. How much I gave my life to him. If you are with me, Father, I will do twice or 3 times as much for you. I will give my life 100% to you." I didn't shout. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel a touch. No. But it was such a great certainty that God was with me, that when I got up, my goodness, tremendous joy came into me. Pleasure. I looked at a person but didn't see the person. I saw a soul. From that day on, my love for souls kept increasing. It kept flowing in me. I joined the Night Angels group, which helps the homeless. It helps those who live on the streets, the same situation that I was in previously. There are people who come to hug us, and we go home with our clothes dirty with vomit. But I couldn't care less. I want their soul. To me, what matters is seeing them transformed, restored, and for the same spirit that is in me to be in them. For someone who was living on the streets, I am a graphic designer today. I have a small business. I met my wife in the love therapy. We dated, got engaged, and married in the love therapy. Before, I would cheer for my team. I would cheer with the supporters. I would cheer for something that added nothing to me. Actually, it did add some things: pain, suffering, frustration, depression. However, the altar has taught me that I have to cheer for myself and for you, because as it happened for me, it won't be any different for you.